And what have you described this as?
Chaos.
Chaos, it is. Well, I love sewing. I really love sewing. But the one bit of sewing that I hate is cutting the pattern out, then laying the pattern on the fabric, cutting the fabric out. That's the bit I really hate. All patterns are the bane of my life, and I'm sure they are for a lot of sewers. It's the bit you don't really, you know, you've got to do before you can actually create the product or create the garment that you want to create. These are helpful tips for when you have to print and assemble your PDFs. It makes it work a lot quicker, and it makes you that time from getting the pattern printed to getting the dress assembled. It just speeds that up a little bit for you. So anyway, this is what I do. It looks 6407, and I've just realised I've got to find the one that's the size that I want. So I want some of that, because that's got the pieces that I want, but I've got to put it to one side because there's also this here. And what have you described this as?
Chaos.
Chaos, it is. Now I've just found that this piece I don't need because it's got the wrong sizes on. So I've now got to go through the rigmarole of finding the way it was folded, like that, and putting it out, trying to get it all put back together again, neatly, so that it doesn't tear, and so I can get it back into that packet. This one I don't need, I like manual.
This is why most others don't take up sewing.
That's why I like PDF, because they're much easier than these. So you can stop now.
Oh, I enjoy doing it. I'll send it to you. There's a lady with a sewing machine. There's a lady with a sewing machine. She's never did it, she's always clean. Oh, can I get this on? Good mind. This is how you fold patterns. Listen to me. Well, success. I'll leave it. You didn't say you were going to out a lot. I mean, noodles. What was I going to say? Must make that beef or some. Was it all the time? Living on the base. I'm still filming.
First one is when I print it, I look at the actual layout of the pattern and I decide which part of the pattern I want to print out. So you look at your pattern and you ask, does it have layers? Yes, then you turn off the sleeves section. If it doesn't, you find the page that has the sleeves in and you don't include those in printing. And you only print out the pages that you want. When you get a PDF, you can either get it printed professionally, get them to print onto a big sheet, which is lovely. I've had that done a couple of times, but I'm inclined to think, oh, it's a lot of money to pay. When you think, if you think of a paper pattern being about anything between 12 to 15 pounds. And if you get a PDF one, it's about £7 or £8, £6 or £7, £6 to £8, let's say. And then you've got to pay a certain amount of money to get the sheets done, and it's price per sheet. It's not price per pattern. So if it's a big pattern and you've got 3 sheets, you've got to pay per sheet. So I like to print my own. And I just thought I'd give you some tips on what I do for printing my own PDFs. Quick tips, because I don't like wasting time cutting patterns and I want to do it quickly. Now you'll see that this paper that I've got, I'll get some here because I've got it here. This paper that I use is very flimsy. It's actually it's the lightest paper I can get. It's 50 gram paper. And it's really light. It's almost like the pattern, well, it's not like the pattern paper, but if I use the other kind of paper, it's quite thick and I find that doesn't work. So I prefer this 50 gram paper. Now this is the paper that I use. It's called Clairefontaine 50 gram. I buy a pack and I think there's 1,000 sheets. there's 500 sheets in here. I'll put a link down below for where you can get it from. I think it's available on Amazon, so I'll put the Amazon link down below. You can always see if you can find it somewhere else. But what you're looking for is 50-gram paper. It's actually like a bank paper. Years and years ago, in the days when the bank used to send us our bank statements, they used to send it on a very thin, flimsy paper, and that was bank paper. And that's exactly what this is. It's a very thin, lightweight paper. And it's really, really good for printing. The other thing that I like about that is it doesn't fill you when you've made your pattern and you fold it up. Because it's very thin, it's going to take up less room in the envelope than it would if you used the proper paper. 50 gram. It's ecological. 38% less natural resources used. 38% less carbon dioxide, 38% less waste to recycle. I find it good because when I'm cutting it out, it's easy to crumple up and make smaller. It takes up less room in your paper bin. Next one is something that I don't do yet. I have seen people do it and they've said this is a good idea. They say when you get your papers printed, once you've printed your papers, like this, if I get that goes like that, what they say is cut your corners off there, and then when you line them up on top of each other, then it should fit better. Now I have never done that. I shall try it. I'm going to print something off in a minute and I'll try it and see if it makes any difference, but that is another good way to do it. The next one was recommended by one of my viewers for when I assemble the pattern together, and it was Jenny. Now those of you who've been watching me right from the start, Jenny used to be in touch with me a lot. She used to get me cheap fabric and send it up to me. I haven't heard from Jenny for a long time. The last time she communicated with me, she told me she had brain cancer. And I've tried, unfortunately prior to that her daughter died. And prior to that her husband had died, so I have no idea. I'm assuming that Jenny is not around. I can't get in touch with her. I've had difficulty getting in touch with her. I don't know where she is, so sad to say. Jenny gave me this tip, but I'm not sure if Jenny's around anymore. But she said use this to glue your patterns together. Pritt stick or glue stick. So I've always got about 4. You can buy these cheaply in the pound shop or in the Range or in Boys or in cheap shops. You can buy a pack of about 4 or 5, and I find these really handy for sticking your patterns together. Far easier than sellotape. I have a preference for making PDF patterns rather than your shop bought ones, and the reason I like it is because I like that you can use a glue stick. Just by running it along and down the sides, it makes the pages stick together easier. But the other thing that I use is a very thin 50 GSM paper, which I buy from Amazon. And because it's so thin, when I overlap the paper, I can see the lines underneath and it's easier to match up. And the glue stick, look what I can do there. I can lift it up, reposition, lift it up, reposition. You can't do that with sellotape, can you? So that is what I like about this paper and about the Pritt stick. Look at this, I can whip it straight across like that, and then I just line up the paper and put it in place. So if you've been put off making PDFs just simply because the sellotape sticks in the wrong place, I suggest you try the glue stick, and I suggest you try getting thinner paper, and that will make a load of difference for you. And some of your cheaper shops will sell these glue sticks in batches of 4 or 6, so it's well worth going and checking those out. Because this paper is so thin, I can see the lines through, and I haven't got any fuss of trimming off corners as well, so that's another good thing for that. Right, once you've got your pattern stuck together, I don't do it all in one go, because if you do it all in one go, you're going to end up with a great big massive sheet that fills your table and it's going to irritate you. So what I tend to do is I look at the layout and I think, right, I'll do those 2 first, and then once I've got those done, then I'll cut them out, and then I'll start on the next batch, because the pages are numbered. It makes life easier that way. So doing them separately is so much more, it's less hair pulling, it's less stressful, and it works a lot better. And last of all, when you come to cutting your pattern out, you could either use these scissors. You could use if you've got one of those big boards, which I have a big one of, put that on the table and use your roller cutter on it to cut it. Or you can do one of two things. You can actually, if you put your paper on there like that and make an initial cut like that, then you can, if you get your scissors in such a position, you can cut like that, round and round, and follow the pattern that way. So you can do a curve just by not actually cutting your scissors but sliding them through. But the other alternative is to use a cutter, a special paper cutter, and I'll show you that. You can use a rotary cutter, or you can use a little small one. I've got a little small alpha one which you could use to cut round the paper. Alternatively, I've got this thing. And I like this gadget. It's a Fiskars, from the famous Fiskars. It's got a little blade right in there. You can just, I don't know if you can see it. You might just see if I can cover that. You might just see inside. It's got a little blade, and that little blade. What you do is you use that. There's a grip there. And I've actually darkened that little arrow up to make it easier for me to see. Can you see the little arrow? And basically when you're running your paper, this is my paper. So what I would do is I would cut, just do a little snip here where it's going to go there first. And then this goes between, into there, in that gap. And then I hold the paper both sides to get it started. And then you slide it along, and your arrow follows that line, and so you're going like that, and you follow the line completely like that. Till you're off. Oh, I've got a little bit of a tear there, but that's basically what you do. And this is handy for cutting the paper, and because this is a thin paper, it works very well. So that, again, I'll put the link below for that one. It's a Fiskars. It's a paper cutter. You can also use it when you're wrapping Christmas presents up. You just basically get the start of it and rush straight along the roll of paper so you can get your wrapping done quickly. It's a paper cutter. And I like that. I find that handy to use. You are able to change the blade, I think. I've never tried changing the blade. I've never had need to. But I use that quite a lot of times because I find it easy, especially when you've got curves and things, and it saves you having to cut round with a pair of scissors. So that's all the things that I use for assembling my PDFs together. Once I've got them together, I mean, this has been glued. All of this has been glued. There's no, I'll let you see from there. I don't know if you can see through there. Because it's thin, if I put you this way, up against there, you can see I've overlapped it, but because it's thin, you can see the lines through. So, I'm not sure if that's come through for you. But because I've overlapped, every one I've overlapped, and I think, and this has overlapped quite a wide bit here, but just running that Pritt stick down there sticks it together and keeps it in place, and it saves on sellotape. I think that was the only thing that really put me off using PDFs. The paper, thicker paper. I didn't like using thicker paper, and I didn't like using sellotape. Once I'd overcome that with a thinner paper and with a Pritt stick, it's made a vast difference. So I hope you've learned something there. I hope that's come in handy, and it just helps speed up your sewing process. So I hope you've enjoyed watching that. The links are below for all the items that I've referred to, and if you just click on those links, it'll take you to the products that I've been talking about.